Hi everybody, Jody Marketplace Boutique. How are all of you? So today I have for you vintage wet solds, and I am like super excited about this because I love vintage items. I just got back from a walk today, really nice. Kind of trying to get out of like an eBay funk I'm in, which, you know, sometimes I get into. Went for a 2-mile walk, which was nice. I joined the Panera Sip Club so I can get some coffee and some caffeine to keep me going. It's working, I have to say. I'm making this video. I might be wearing athletic clothes with a pretty necklace, but making it happen. So vintage wet solds, it'll be super fun. Well, for me anyway. I don't know about you. I'll show you what has sold in the vintage items and what you can find to sell out there, and maybe keep your eye out for something that you've never thought about before. For nostalgia's sake, from, you know, maybe their grandma had something, or they grew up with something and they're trying to find that special piece. I mean, I've got some high and some low in here. Yeah, just some fun stuff. So I'll show you what I've got. So these are the recent solds, and I'm only picking items that are like my favorites. They have to be like really good transactions. And these have been like really good customers to me, which I really appreciate because it makes my job really fun. Here I have like an antique 1850s polite letter writer business courtship, and this is one of those books that was like a school book or some kind of school setting. It might have been college. Most of the people only went to 8th grade around this area anyway in Michigan. Most people did not go beyond 8th grade because they had to help out with the farms back in the 1850s. I think about 1850s, and that was a long time ago. I found this one in the bestest, most awesome auction I've ever been to. I have a picture of it in my intro. Really loved this auction. So it was just massively huge, and I was so exhausted, like you have no idea. So when I go into auctions, I usually have like oatmeal in the mornings, and then I try to like dehydrate myself because I do not want to use an outhouse. No. Okay? No. And I don't want to have to like bring one of those little tents with me either. So it was extremely hot. It was an old pioneer house that was first built, probably one of the first houses around here in Bangor, Michigan. I had to drive quite a ways. I think it was like probably, you know, an hour or two to get there. It was quite a ways. I don't really remember exactly. The person that inherited this house, they had owned this property for like 12 generations back, and it was super old stuff, like really old. And I regret not buying actually more. Oh, I wish I would have had like a massive trailer that day. I really regret not buying the jewelry and also the Victrola, because I've always wanted one like my whole life. And I even pulled stuff out of the walls to buy, just right off the walls. I'm like, can I have this? And then they would auction it off. I probably could go on and on about this forever. Like this whole video could just be about selling this one book, because okay, you're probably like really bored now. Like, I bought so much stuff from them. It's almost like buying a whole estate. All their pottery, like they had them signed from the 1800s, letters from the 1800s, postcards, scrapbooks. It's really hard to like let that all go. And it's almost like you know these people. Maybe it's just me. I guess what I'm trying to say is I really hold these things like kind of dear to my heart. So when they sell, I'm super happy. So all in, I was at $48.48, and that was with shipping. I think I did send this one priority mail instead of media mail because it was super special. And I did not want this ruined in any way, so it seems like that's how I sent it out. I don't think I sent it out media mail. I didn't charge for media mail, but that's okay. And then I sold this Don't Bother Me, I'm Crabby vintage keychain. All in, this was $12.07, so it was like $6.29. Super, super cheap. I really like selling keychains. I don't know, I just find them fascinating. They're like little pieces of history. It's just like one of those really fun things I like selling, kind of like belt buckles. So this wasn't a lot of money, but this is one of my vintage finds, and you can easily find keychains. Like if you go to a flea market, you're gonna probably find some keychains. Go to an auction, you might find some. And usually they are super cheap. Like sometimes they're in a box with keys on them, or you know, like on the bottom of boxes. Always look at the bottom of boxes. I find the best stuff. Like you have no idea. Crazy stuff. Crazy money to be had at the bottom of the boxes where nobody even thinks anything is worth anything. Make sure to look. Make sure you look. So here is a Williamsburg, Pennsylvania pottery vintage 2 mug set. Salt glazed stoneware, blue beige. I probably should have put blue and white. It's kind of a beigey though. I don't know. So I had these for sale for a little bit. I do have some more for sale, but I think some of them have actually dropped off of the listings. If you see the red stuff down there behind me, that was all listed, and I don't think it's all listed now, oddly. So I have quite a few pieces left, and it's really strange because I don't see all those listings. eBay does drop listings. This is a Seth Dreams and Projections first printing. First printings or first editions. I always kind of try to look up. Otherwise, I just kind of list them for like $29.99. If I'm smart, I'll look it up. This one sold for $18.01 plus shipping, so all in was $25.44. Some of those books you probably want to look up before you list them. I did get a ton of free books, so this is a freebie. Here is a gold tone ball beaded chain Art Deco style triangle necklace, lobster claw close. All together was $22.52, so this sold for $15 plus shipping. It was definitely really neat, and that was definitely on my favorite vintage list. Here we have a wood vintage hand-painted sewing thimble, strawberries. This one I found at a local thrift store. So I think I found this one for like $1 or less, probably 50 cents maybe. This one sold for $8. These are really super easy to store. Now here is an antique graniteware enamelware purple funneled old abandoned house estate. This is also where I found the same place in Bangor, Michigan, and that auction. It was super great, and this one came right out of the kitchen. This one sold for $35, so $48.14 all in, and it's a really neat item. And I even sold some like matching bedpans. I don't know why they were in the kitchen. Maybe the auctioneer thought they were kitchen items. I'm not sure. Okay, so here is a 50s advertising Harrington Coal Fuel Oil Die Cut Fan Layered, Holland, Michigan. Destination vacation places that you find for advertising, those things sell really well. So a lot of the Holland stuff sells almost immediately for me. I have sold to many different people, and some of the same people. So some of the die cut fans, and I didn't even notice this when I got it, but it has several layers, and I didn't even realize that you can like really take it apart. Duh, it fans out. So I didn't even really get a good picture of this, but it sold, and it pretty much sold immediately. $42.03, all in $49. So this sold for $42.03 plus shipping. Okay, now something I saw really well, and it happens to be like One of my favorite name brands as far as costume jewelry is Trifari, and they sell really well. I mean, here are some clip-on earrings. Trifari 1950s, vintage Trifari. Why did I have that in there twice? I don't know. Coral gold tone color clip back earrings. This sold for $79, all in at $90.94. So I won like a big lot of vintage jewelry. Huge vintage haul I did where I'm not kidding, I loaded up my car with the jewelry and I spent, I think, about $25 for like all this jewelry and jewelry boxes. So the auctioneer had just had some extras, I don't know, in his barn or something, and nobody else was looking. So I got the steal of a century. Okay, here's a vintage Cowboy the Big Company Wild West bandana campfire kids pillowcase. Now I should have put like 1990s because this was actually just one of my daughter's pillowcases. One pillowcase, so $7, all in at $13.53. I have it. I mean, it's basically like free inventory when you're pulling it out of your own closet and you're gonna get rid of it. I'll take the $7. Hey, why not? Only took a second to list. Okay, my all-time favorite thing ever, favorite vintage item recently is Bob the Clown. Bob has been my little friend sitting in my eBay living room. I sell out of the lower level and Bob has been sitting on my couch. I may or may not have been talking to him. I was a little sad to see Bob go, honestly. And oddly, I think this is like a multi-generational dowel. It was a Campbell's composite. This is really strange, I have to say. This is just strange, but it was a Campbell's composite dowel body. So this was old. Like, I would say, I'm gonna guess it was like 40s, 50s, the body. I'm guessing because I couldn't find anything on it. And then the top was dated, maybe, I don't know, maybe the 80s or 90s. Campbell's dowels. Robin Hood, vintage 30-inch child-sized dowel, clown creepy. Because some days Bob felt a little bit creepy to me. He was just sitting there. It's like another person, and I kept finding myself talking to this doll. I'm obviously spending way too much time alone. Took a picture of myself trying to ship this thing out, and I had him sitting on the countertop, and okay, if I insert this picture, I just, mind you, I'm not wearing any makeup. I had just woke up and I'm trying to ship Bob out because that's my main objective for the day, is to get Bob out the door and onto this customer. And I have to say, this person was the most amazing customer. She left me really nice feedback, which I really appreciate. And I'm glad that Bob has a new home where he's getting enjoyed. I even went through my cards because I happen to, like, if I go to estates, I save cards. I actually had a clown card that I sent a thank you with the doll. So that was so much fun. I'm turning a little red just thinking about inserting the photo with me with no makeup on. But I think I will anyway, or I'll just cut this part out. Okay, so all in together was $155.91. I had to charge, you know, a little bit more for shipping. It wouldn't have been so bad, but I had to protect the head. So I actually double boxed the head, and then I realized this looks really creepy. This is really strange looking because I don't know. But hey, Bob made it there okay, and that's all that matters. So then I decided to beg Bob because I'm like, well, I have to keep him waterproof just in case something rains. And it has been raining a lot here in Michigan. So I cut up a white garbage bag and begged him. And then I was really embarrassed how this package looked when it was done. I was just trying to like ship it to where it got there okay, and then I realized like it looks like an actual like person in this box I'm shipping. And I'm like, okay, UPS, please do not scan this. Please do not scan this and open it, thinking, what in the world is in this box, lady? I was sweating it a little bit when I dropped it off. I was a little bit nervous, I have to say. So when Bob was gone and I walked out the door, I was really, really happy. And then I was super happy to find out that she liked it and all was good. And that was like the best. So that was fun. Here is a Jackson, Michigan advertising mash box. Okay, so this one sold for $12.59, and then it was like $5.50 shipping. So, well, to any, like I said before, those advertising places where you would take a vacation or something like that. However, this happens to be one of those places where I always sell my things to really, really quickly. Like, these things sell almost instantly of listing them because they are the local jail. Prison. Actually, it's prison. I may have had a boyfriend in that prison. Or not. I will not confirm or deny having a boyfriend in that prison. Jackson, Michigan is one of those prison towns. Prison towns sell well, I have to say. I don't know. They just do. This one I found at a consignment local auction. I bought a big lot of Jackson prison things. There was some really cool stuff in there, and some of it was worth thousands of dollars, which I still haven't listed because I don't know, they're cool and I might hold on to them for a while. The prison stuff was a neat find. It almost looks like somebody worked for the prison and then they cleaned up their desk or something, or their office. I don't know. And I think the prison is closing down. Oh my word, now that I say that, I need to do some shopping and looking into this. I've made so much money on that prison. So this is $12.59, $5.50 shipping. So look out for your local prisons. Okay, so here's a pair of vintage earrings. This is Doncaster vintage abstracted printed beige brown round earrings, $35.24. $4.99 shipping. I had them listed for $46 and I took an offer and I appreciated the offer, and that was just fine with me. These came in a big box lot of jewelry and it just happened to have a marking. 1940s, 50s, Japan, World War II, Dutch couple, boy, girl, Netherlands, blue, white statue figures. Okay, this was super cute. I got it at one of those consignment local auctions. It had like a ton of blue and white stuff, and this is just one of those things that I got. This little couple was so adorable, I have to say. I almost wanted to keep them, but I can't keep everything, so I listed them up. They were in super, super good condition, so all in at $55.44. That was with shipping. Also, with this breakable stuff too, I always like double box, or I'll take cardboard and wrap one and wrap the other, and then it goes in a box. So these things are essentially boxed twice. They might not be a complete box, but they definitely are boxed with cardboard twice, because those breakable items, especially vintage stuff, you don't want to break that, and you don't want your customer to be like, oh, I can't wait to get the stuff, and then it arrives broken. That would not be good. Here we have a 1911 antique Tish Hine locking business binder, Michigan, with the label. It was really cool. The label was inside even. This was super old, super, super old. Well, of course, it's 1911, so over 100 years old. So sold for $40 on an offer. I think I had it marked for like 80, 90, something like that. All in at $57.39. However, I should have asked more shipping because it did not cover shipping. This thing was a beast. It was definitely big. You know, it's a bigger item. It was so heavy. Like, you definitely needed some muscles to lift this thing. I don't know what that thing was made out of, but it was definitely made of something substantial. I lost on shipping on that, and I have to remember to just make sure that I'm paying myself shipping on these things. So sometimes I lose a little bit, but that's okay. This antique item went to somebody else who is enjoying it, and it's not just sitting in my office and I'm not just staring at it like, hello, please sell. So I'm glad somebody's enjoying it. Okay, so I've definitely sold like a ton of vintage jewelry these last few months. If you have jewelry or can find jewelry, definitely pick it up and try to resell it, especially that vintage stuff. And right now I'm finding for some reason all of that like 80s big bulky stuff is selling super, super well. And jewelry is like really, really easy to store. So that is something, if I could give you like a tip of the day, don't pass by jewelry. Definitely take a look at it. And don't forget your local prisons. Okay, everybody, so that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed that. Seeing some stuff that you might not have thought about before. I hope you all go out and find something cool to resell on eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari, or Marketplace. There's a lot of other selling platforms other than eBay that you can sell on, which I am thinking about. Good luck on your special finds, either buying or selling. Bye. Have a good day. And actually, do you remember my last jewelry haul? That's where these came from. These are kind of really nice. They're like nicer than normal stuff. They actually are marked too, but I didn't recognize the marking. They're a little bit, they feel a little big on my holes. Okay. Oh my word. Okay, and here is a Williamsburg. No, I can't.